What happens when you pit ChatGPT against Claude to write the perfect caption? I gave them both the same prompt. And let's just say one of them nailed it with my brand voice, the other not so much. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I use both AI tools to improve my social media and how you can use their output to craft content that connects, converts, and still sounds like you. Welcome to the Next Leap Academy, sponsored by New Paradigm and DSO Marketing X. I'm your host, Mark Hefner. I'll break down what I liked, what fell flat, and how I merged the best of both worlds. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So I wrote a short prompt basically saying, create social media captions to go with this video for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram from the transcripts. Create a strong hook to get my audience to read the caption and listen to the video. And that was it. And then I just dropped in the transcript from the video itself, so it could create the caption for me. And this is what it created. Basically, ChatGPT said, absolutely. Here are the social media captions, transform your dental practice, customized them from LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, written in my California style. So here's one of the things I'm got to talk about. I'm from California, and I definitely have a writing style. When I talk about my style in a 6, you got to remember that these models work on numbers. So if you tell them to write a certain style, now you got to dial them in. Dialing it in at a 6 tells them where I want them on the scale of my California style. Just imagine if I said put it on a 10, it'd be like, dude, total surfer background. That's not what I'm going for. And if I went for 1, well, it would be 100% professional, really straight-laced. And guess what? I'm not a straight-laced type of guy. So I wanted to have my voice and I wanted to dial it in. Sometimes when I'm doing these things, I might want to have it lower than a 6. Sometimes I want to have it higher than a 6, depending upon what I'm trying to get across. But I have found 6.57 seems to work really good for me in how the content comes out. And this is what it came back, basically saying, I know what my patients want. Do you, or are you assuming? So this is what was going to go into the captions that go along with the video. I'm not going to read each and every one of them here, but as you can tell, it put together basic captions for both LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, along with the hashtags. To be honest, I wasn't 100% thrilled with any of it. None of it really jumped out at me. I said, and I've done this before. I went to Claude. I gave Claude the same prompt. Let's take a look at what Claude had to say. Here's Claude. Here's the same prompt. Create social media captions to go with this video for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram from the transcripts. Create a strong hook to get my audience to read the caption and listen to the video. Boom. I dropped in the transcript and said, okay. And this is what it gave me. It basically said, LinkedIn, stop assuming what you know, what your patients want. Went through it, gave me captions for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And then it told me on the bottom, each caption is optimized for the platform's audience and format while maintaining your core message about the importance of patient surveys and active listening. So I said, okay. I kind of like that better than what Chat did. But what happens if I show Chat what Claude did? Let's see what happens when I do that. Let's go back to Chat and see what he had to say. So when we go to Chat, I wrote in, hey Chat, I thought you were the best at this, but I like what Claude did. What do you think? And then I dropped in exactly what Claude said. I hit go. Chat said, thanks for sharing Claude's version. It's strong. It hit the essentials, tailored structure, conversational tone, a solid flow. Here's how I'd break it down with some honest critiques and how we can elevate it even further. So broke it down, talked about what Claude did well, talked about a strong hook, also talked about the surveys. It talked about tone and empathy. It talked about platform variations in them and the point of view. And then it talked about where it failed. It was a little too polished. It lacks my voice, it thought, doesn't invite the next step. And I go, huh, okay. And then chat went ahead and rewrote the LinkedIn post. And here's what it came up with. Here's my elevated LinkedIn version based in the Hefner style with Claude's strengths. I'm not gonna read it all, but here's basically what it wrote. Gave me the hashtags to go with it. I read through it. I pretty much liked it. And I said, it asked me, do you want me to rewrite the Facebook and Instagram ones? And of course, I'm not a fool. I said, yes. Here are the Facebook and Instagram posts that it put together along with the hashtags. And then it asked me if I wanted to add a 3-slide Instagram carousel text or reels. Well, I don't need to do that since I already have a video going on. So the whole idea of these short videos is to take everybody to the long form video that we have on our YouTube channel. I want to whet the appetite and move people over. Video is what's driving content, but you have to have the right captions to get your audience to read. Now, I know we all struggle with writing. You know what? I hate writing, and I've been writing my whole life. But thinking about what to write and what to come up with is tough. And then trying to get it right for the audience to read gets even harder. Why not go to the experts? How did I really create what I'm doing? What I've done is I've created my own personal chat. So when I say that, my own personal chat is when you use ChatGPT, it is pulling from data it's been trained on. So, which is really good, but it's really broad. And what I want to do is I want to train chat on myself. In order to do that, I needed to supply it with a database of knowledge that I use and that I'm familiar with to create better captions, along with some of my writings and some of the stuff that I've done in the past. I've added and created my own personal chat GPT. This is what it looks like. Let me share it with you. This says SEO Content Optimizer. What I'm really trying to do, use this to really write captions and help write stuff that goes onto my website and along with SEO. But with that, there are 19 project files along with instructions. What that is, guys, if you're not using projects inside of ChatGPT, you're really not doing yourself a favor. When you start using project files, it eliminates hallucinations, but it also makes everything more personalized and it helps it to use your data. What I've done is within these 19 project files, now one thing which I don't like, ChatGPT has a 20 file limit, and it also has a size limit on how big those files can be. But I've also created a set of instructions, basically telling what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to do and what it's going to look like and where it's to get my voice from. One of the things to think about is when you set these things up, when we hire new team members, do we just set them loose or do we train them on how we want them to perform within our organization? The same is true when you set up a personalized chat. You need to train it. You need to train your models. And then you need to train it specifically on what you want. The broader you get, the more problems you have. So become really specific. I have numerous chats that I work with. I've also done this same thing within Claude, Gemini, Grok. When I use all these models and set them up with my information, I've created the experts, created an SEO optimizer within chat. By setting this information up in chat, allows me to write better content. And it helps me to get 95% of the way there. So instead of struggling for a couple of hours over what to write, I now only work with it for about 20 to 30 minutes. I basically have it completed and I'm starting my posting process. So guys, these are some of the things that I use. This is a hack that I'm working with to help improve. If you want to learn how to do this, drop me a line, send me an email, send me a chat or a direct message below, and let's talk. I can help you get better and train your organization on how to use all of the AI models to improve your marketing operations. Again, this is Mark with New Paradigm and DSO Marketing X. Thank you for watching this video and being part of the Next Sleep Academy. Talk with you later.